And so when I say Chinese, I want you to scream out the nation that's associated with this. For example, if I say Chinese, you're going to say what?
China.
All right, let's say it with authority. When I say Chinese, you say what? China. All right, that's just a test right there. So here we go. Chinese.
China.
Russian.
Russia.
Italian.
Italy.
German.
Germany.
Swedish.
Sweden.
Korean.
Korea.
Egyptian.
Egypt.
Nigerian.
Nigeria.
Black.
Exactly. Nothing. Tell him, Pastor. Tell him, Pastor. Black, nothing.
I hope you were able to successfully identify the issue.
The lion won't sleep tonight, 'cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said the lion won't sleep tonight, 'cause we woke now, and we woke now. They want us to sell our souls to barter profit, like God's property. It's hard to market, so we steady to aim, keep your eyes on target. 'Cause when you got to drive, yeah, they'd rather you park it. But I don't valet, you ain't getting these keys. I'm keeping closed hands, I'm on bended knee. I'm just a reflection, dealing with 8 sections. Art mixed with life, you can feel the convection. Your lion won't sleep tonight, 'cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said the lion won't sleep tonight, 'cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said
The same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black and the vernacular that we're supposed to have. Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger, a known eugenics, with the KKK to control the Jew population. When I say Jew, I mean the 12 lost tribes of Judah, the blood of Christ, who the race, the people known as the race black, really are.
Hitler was, and the Nazis, of course, expanded on Margaret Sanger's approach to eugenics, right? Eugenics was a movement that was born in the United States under hard doctrines of racism with the intent of eliminating the tribe of Judah in the African-American community in this country, right? To eliminate them.
The entire Bible is about black people. Not only was Jesus black, but every character in the Bible seems to be black too. Yeah, Zephaniah and Jeremiah and Jebediah, those all aren't white people names, okay? And Jesus wasn't some tan, partially melanated Middle Eastern person either. I'm talking straight up black dude, okay? Even in the book of Revelation, when you get the vision of Daniel, he's describing someone with feet like burnt brass and white woolly hair, and we've got the deep running water voice with the red eyes, and you guys, he's black. The Jewish people are black people, like Kanye was right.
Listen. Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you.
I want to say peace and blessings to everyone. I want to say Shalom Lak Mash Bakha. Hope and pray that you guys had a blessed Shabbat. And I know that I didn't schedule this live. I got to get back in sync with scheduling these lives in advance, but just really been completely deep and just with busy with working on my book. Just completed my chapters and everything. Just completed writing it all out. It's probably 95% done. And now this week, going to turn it over to the hands of the editors. And so it's, and I'm not just saying it because the Most High is placed on my heart to do it, but I believe you guys be fairly pleased with the book. I think you guys will like my approach in disseminating the information. But like I said, things have just been very, very hectic with all that I have on my plate. Of course, still dealing with politics with the property that we acquired. So keep us in prayer, family, because it's a lot of politics that comes with the territory, especially when you're living in areas where you have old money. You know what I mean? And especially when it comes to our people, you just have some spaces that they have an issue. They feel some kind of way when we acquire certain things, when we acquire certain properties that they feel it should be them. You know what I mean? So keep us in prayer with that. But like I said, the book, been working on the book for, I want to say 8 months, and just really been putting a lot of work in it. So just encourage you guys to keep us in prayer as we now go to the next phase of that. And that's, again, the editing portion of it. And then from there, once everything passes through the editors, then the next phase is to record the audio, because I want to release my book with not just with the of course a copy, physical copy of the book, whether it's hardcover or soft, or but I also want to release the audio version of it as well. I want to do all of that at the same time. So just want to make sure that when you guys get your hands on it, you guys could see that a lot was invested in it. A lot of time, effort was invested in making this this possible. Completing this project. But nevertheless, wanted to do a live here. I was trying to debate on what I was going to discuss. Actually, I was trying to debate if I was actually going to do a live. But then I said, let me just go and do something here. Because of the heat and all those different things in my office. The AC from my office conked out earlier today. So, my office is a little hot right now, but it's bearable. But it's hot. But anyway, let's go to get into this here. I was just and I'll upload some video. Add some video clips into this this presentation, so that way we can use that as a baseline. But are you guys familiar with what's going on right now with the the 250-year celebration up in DC? Are you guys familiar with what's been going on with that? There's a lot going on up in DC. There's supposed to be a 250-year celebration, and of course, this Commander in Thief put his spin on it with the whole Make America Great and all this other stuff again. And it's been a lot of stuff that's been going on. It didn't get the turnout that they expected. I mean, literally stage falling apart, all these different things that's been happening. And then with the national pool, what's that? The Lincoln Memorial, the pool that's there. You guys probably heard about the algae, algae gate, to where, the whatever he called himself trying to do just tore it up. So, this guy is doing something that is, we could truly say is unprecedented, especially when it comes to someone in his position. Corruption he don't care. He's just going for it. Just in the year that he's been, a little more than the year that he's been in office, actually almost 2 years now, his first year, he has increased his wealth by at least $4 billion. Everything he does is, he's just hustling every which way. you got to admit, I don't roll with the Democrats or the Republicans. I could care less about any of those parties and the whole politics thing. I could care less about it because it's all a hustle. The guys are, the same bird, two wings, right, on the same bird. But he's making Nixon and some of the other guys, like and Nixon, you guys know about Watergate, making Nixon look like he was just squeaky clean. I mean, everything this guy does has a hustle to it. From what happened in Venezuela, if you guys follow it now, children is coming up missing, disappearing. I mean, he took oil there that he had no right to and got a percentage out of that. The whole Iran thing is a straight hustle just to fatten his pockets. If you notice that, and let me know if you guys notice this, right? What he does, what this guy do, he'll, like during the week, he'll say negotiations or, it's going good. They got an agreement in place. And then by the weekend, over the weekend, they bomb. So what happens is whenever he says that they have a peace agreement on the table, what that does is it drives the market, right? It caused the market to, to kind of level off, especially when you're dealing with oil and things like that. But as soon as something happened, it causes what? Prices to go up, like oil prices and things along that line. Have you guys followed this? Have you guys noticed he's been doing this almost every week for what? Almost 4 months since he started this whole Iran thing, that every week there's a deal on the table and then it's a deal is not on the table. Have you guys noticed the hustle that's going on? Straight hustle. I mean, everything from the Trump coin to where he's made over $1 billion off of it, while everyone else that invested in it lost, didn't make any money. Everything this guy touched is all about him. He and his son, Kushner, he gets 10% out of everything that they do. Negotiation, you name it, 10%. Right. So let's just say if they negotiate a deal that's like $1 trillion, they get 10% out of that. All the way to the mall, right? The pool, to the event, that was already designated for a group to facilitate. He took over. I mean, he is just, going for corruption at its highest. And so what I noticed here today, let me see if I can put some of the clips here inside this slide here so you guys can see some of the things that happened. Earlier today, they had to evacuate the site, where the National Mall is because of storms. I mean, lightning and everything was going on there, and they had to literally evacuate it. And I may pull up this guy by the name of Adam Mockler, young guy. I mean, got a huge platform, but he was, covering this. He had some great clips, and I was trying to find those clips. I didn't have time to do it, but let me go ahead and put some clips inside this presentation for those of you guys that may not be familiar with some of the things, but they literally had to evacuate the National Mall. So many layers of what's been going on up there. Let me add a couple of videos here to this to this PowerPoint, and then I'll play it, and then I'll pull up the Adam Mockler video of him covering it as well, because he had some clips there when it looked like it was a madhouse out there. So let me start with this clip. Let me see if this clip will work. All right, let me shrink it down. All right, let me do it. Let me put a couple of more clips here. So I'm used to doing my own clips, and I didn't have time to make my own clips to really fit the presentation. So bear with me if it doesn't, if the clips don't look as clean as it should. Matter of fact, let me do it this way. Let me change the background. Maybe that'll help. But yeah, I didn't do my clips like I normally do. but I'll do it like this. Can't get fancy tonight because of what's, me not really having my clips together. Let me see if I can put all these two on the same page. All right. I think we did. All right. So I could put both of these on the same. Let me see if that'll work. All right. Yeah, there we go. I guess I can't. Thought I could. All right, let me try it this way. All right, it must be the clip itself. All right, let me try another clip. All right. Bear with me 1 second, family. Let me try one more clip. And then we'll add some additional ones on the fly. All right, let's see here. All right, I guess the clips are not working this way. All right, let me do it a different way. All right. Let me just go ahead and play it this way. All right, let me import. I thought I saw Berean Scott in the building. I'll drop the link here for you, my brother, in a second here. Let me just share some videos this way. Let me see if I could just do it this way, because for some reason I'm having some issues here. And I want to say this as we build this discussion, family. I'm going to pull some passages up here, and making it clear that we're back, and we don't have to sit back and be passive. We can speak plagues into existence, and we'll get to that in a second here. But let me just go to share this with you. All right, let me can you guys see this? If you guys can see this, type 1, and let me know if you guys can hear the audio. Let me see here.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay, you guys heard that? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play this real quick, and I want to give you a shout out before I get started. Charles Miller, thank you, my brother. Really appreciate the love and support that you've been showing here. With the work that we've been putting in here on this platform. Really appreciate you for all the contributions, and really appreciate you, my brother. And family, let's show some love to Charles Miller tonight for the love and support that he's been showing this platform for quite some time, family. So appreciate you, my brother. Really do. All right. Let's see here. Let's go to play this video here, family. Let's see what we got here. All right. Let me get out the way. All right. And I was going to, like I said, show my camera, but because of my office, I can't have, anyway, not going to get into all that. But let's go to play the video.
please evacuate the park. It's for your safety. We will reopen later. Please evacuate the park. Thank you. They will be, once you go up to, not the white tent, but if you go up to,
All right, let me show another one. All right, let me stop that clip. Let me remove this one. Let me put another one up here. All right. Let's see. But I'm going to, I'm more than likely, I'll pull his up because his really, he has a few videos that was just really interesting, as far as showing the different.
The safety of our guests, performers, and staff is our top priority. Freedom 250, United States Secret Service, United States Park Police, National Park Service, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and all public safety partners are actively monitoring weather conditions. For your safety, all guests must seek shelter in the various white tents on the left and right side at the back of the event site. Please remain calm, follow the directions of law enforcement and event staff, and stay tuned for Freedom 250's official channels for updates. Freedom 250 will share updates on programming and doors reopening. Please stay close to our official channels for updates. Thank you.
All right, now you see, guys, it's not packed. I mean, they spent millions upon millions of dollars. It's basically an empty, event. You know, this is not, it's not packed right now. Now I would say today, probably because of the 4th of July, they had more people show up. But this event is supposed to be a 1-month event. And on the average, lucky if it had a couple of hundred people there up until today. This is the most, as you see here, this is the most people that have turned out for this event. And then watching some of the clips during the week, you had pieces of the stage was falling, almost injured someone, several people that was practicing. So this whole thing is a major flop, major flop. Okay, so let me share with you guys another video here. Let me see if I have another one. I mean, it's like he got the Charlie Brown touch, not the Midas touch. You guys know Charlie Brown is like, you know, it seemed like everything he touched, man, it just goes bad, you know, and that's exactly what this guy is. He fooled people to thinking that he's this negotiator, you know what I mean? The art of closing the deal, and this guy, I mean, he's terrible. And like Charles Barkley would say, terrible, just straight terrible, straight terrible. I mean, he's terrible. Everything that he does is all a hustle, and he corrupts it. Like we said, from the pool to this event to the Kennedy Center that he put literally had his name placed over the Kennedy himself name, where the memorial was dedicated to Kennedy. He placed his name on it. Everything that he touches, it flops. Everything, you know. I want to say shout out to you, Berean Scholar.
Shalom, brother. How we doing tonight?
Doing good. Cannot complain.
And I want to just say welcome to everybody.
The organizers of this event.
Oh, go ahead, my brother. I'm sorry. I was.
You're so right about Commander Chief. If anybody been keeping up with the news, a lot of things going on in that area. A lot of people are protesting. Well, not protesting, but people are showing up, marching and stuff. You know, there's a lot of things happening.
And you know, the other thing, family, that I want to point out, there's some things that's been happening weather-wise that's not the norm. I think it was either Utah or Arizona, one of those places. I'll see if I can find the video where they literally had ice flood a week ago.
Yep.
You know, it's a lot of things that's happening. And right now in my area where we live at, I mean, the temperatures was like 107. And he said it feels like 115 degrees. That's not the norm, family. That's very unusual. Go ahead, my brother.
It was 102 here in Raleigh.
I mean, they just, I mean, everything that you see that's going on, I mean, everything is upside down. We see treason going on right now. Here it is. You have the commander in chief literally merging the United States military with the 1948ers. Literally, a bill was trying to get passed to prevent that from happening, and it got, in a nutshell, it didn't pass. When did you ever think to see that a foreign country can have its military mesh with another country's military? And I'm talking about they're going to have a wing for the 1948ers at the Pentagon. I mean, he's showing his true colors, man. He's a 1948er too. His grandfather's one. You know, I did the full research on that. I'm going to do a special presentation on that. But it's all about the 1948ers. We are seeing things that a level of corruption that we never thought that we would see. We see a purge going on. Because the one thing that you don't hear them talk about is, you know, when with the thing with the Medicare, the Medicaid, the Social Security, when they you know, cut that by over $1 trillion, over 70 to 80 hospitals have shut down across the country since then. And other local doctor facilities, medical facilities have shut down. We see a purge going on. Go ahead, my brother.
And not only that, brother, I've been contacted by people who follow our channels, who are telling me that there's people that have been kicked out of Section 8 for a little small reason, and mainly in communities that we represent. There have been you know, people are losing their SNAP benefit. You know, they're doing a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let me see. I'm trying to pull up that ice flood that was it Utah? Let me see. I think it was in Utah.
If you need anything, I got a couple videos. You know about the group that showed up to march to DC. You heard about that one, right?
Yeah, with the races and on the train. You know, and I saw images of the girl, the young girl that was in the middle of all of that. You know, just you know, communing. You can see the fear on her face.
Yeah, they're proud.
Yeah,
he's promoting all this, so they're supporting what he's doing.
Yeah. All right, let me see if I could play this video here, family. I just downloaded another clip because I wasn't going to just show Donald Trump, but let me show you this clip right here. All right, let me upload it here. Let me remove this one. All right. This is a hailstorm that just this occurred last week, and I believe this is where is this at? I think it's Utah, right? You know, a place that they don't deal with this type of stuff. They don't deal with freezing temperatures. But let me play it here.
Wow.
Come on, family. And see, these guys, what they plan on doing, this is their whole hustle. See, these billionaires think that they can, you know, have themselves, you know, really nested in a certain area so they won't have to deal with the climate change, the things that are happening due to what they are doing. You know, this is I believe this is the whole reason why Elon Musk is doing everything he could do to push to go to another planet. Because they literally about to just, I mean, everything that they do is all about greed.
Yes.
And they don't know how to put a, you know, kind of like filter or stop. They are like the leech. They're like viruses. They will just suck something dry until it's just nothing. I mean, no usage for it anymore. And that's what you see happening right now. You know, the whole hustle with the Doge going into the government, it was a total hustle. Good cop, but get bad cop. Make it seem like Donald Trump and Elon Musk are beefing. Remember that? These guys are buddies. Elon Musk now suddenly a trillionaire. Guess where all that money come from? It comes from the government here. It's coming. They canceled contracts and literally gave it to him. I'm talking about $1 billion contracts. Got rid of the watchdogs. All the government watchdogs in every area, got rid of them. The thing that he was trying to get hold of is the Federal Reserve. And family, don't listen to this hustle guy. He's all about money. He wants to get his hands on the Federal Reserve so that way he can dictate the interest rates. And guess what? He do that, then that's like the nail in the coffin right there for financials. And he's literally said that he wants the housing prices to continue to go up. Because the more it increases, now if you don't have a piece of property, you won't be able to buy a piece of property. And that's what's happening right now. Our children coming out of college right now, they can't afford to purchase a home right now. A starter home that used to be what, $150,000 to $200,000. That same home now is like $400,000 and $500,000.
Yep.
You have these investment groups that are bulk purchasing homes,
and that's the issue.
And driving the prices of it up, and making it so that way you cannot purchase those homes. They're rented. Atlanta. You got subdivisions in Atlanta. I'm talking about homes that's like $300,000-$400,000 homes that should be the price value of it. Now the value of it, because of them manipulating the markets, is $700,000 and $800,000 homes. But most of those homes in those are rented. People are not purchasing those homes. I remember I went to this was like 2 years ago. I was going to purchase some investment property here, and I saw a couple of homes that I was going to purchase, and I couldn't, because the catch was I had to buy 10 homes.
Wow.
This group owned not one home, but I think it's like 10 to 15 homes, and they did not want to sell 1 or 2 homes to me. The condition, the whole conditions was, hey, we'll sell you this home, but you have to purchase all 12 or 13 homes.
And that's going countrywide, brother. That groups like that are buying house here in this area too, because it's a fast growth, and they're pricing out a lot of people.
Yeah, and it's targeting to price us out. So, family, property. I mean, just and I'm not trying to put the business out there, but the piece of property that we acquired for the ministry, that one the good side of it is, yeah, thank the Most High for it. The plus in it is, hey, the property value is worth 6 times the amount that when I for what we purchased it for a year ago. Literally right after purchasing it, the value of that of the property quadrupled. It's worth well over like $1.5 million. And a piece of property, and I'm not ashamed to share it, purchased it for $240,000. Is that crazy or what, my brother?
That's, man. I mean, that's the number in that short time. In that short time,
exactly. But the key, family, is, for us, it's value. But the downside of it is that shows you that our children won't even be able to purchase property. That's how quick the property is going up, right? So that's what's happening, family. And I'll say this, family, and I get it. Let the country fail. I understand that. But for me, are you ready for it? Because sometimes we'll say stuff, but we don't really lay out and really be prepared for when we say let the country fail. Are you ready for that? Are you really ready for things to get so bad to where as though you can't buy anything? You can't eat. Are you really ready for all of those things? It sounds good, but are you really ready for a collapse to the point that food is scarce, water is scarce, everything is just completely upside down? Are you really ready for that? I'm not saying that I don't want judgments to come, because I definitely want the judgment to come to this country, but I'm just saying, be careful what you ask for. Because it sounds good, but what happens when when it comes to your doorstep? Desperate times, people do desperate things. Your house may be good, right? You may be good with your household, but what about those families out there that don't have, let's just say, money in the bank or resources saved, and now they're just trying to eat to survive? and they see you looking like look like everything is good, or your family, your children, and then they decide to rob you. So I'm just saying, just make sure you're prepared. Don't just ask for something. Make sure you prepared for when it happens. Now, certain things are going to happen. We already see the way things are going, it cannot sustain itself. It cannot sustain itself. It's going to burst. It should have burst by now. That's why he wants to drive the interest rates down. But it should have already, a bubble burst should have already happened. Go ahead, my brother.
Two things you mentioned, brother. The thirst pain. If anybody's in this chat, because we got people all over the country, maybe all over the world in this chat, have heard about data centers opening up in your area or trying to open the area. That's a big problem, and they're intentionally opening up data centers everywhere because that's part of his main drive of his campaign. When he got brought in, he had a lot of people sitting right behind him who are tech people, and they're opening up data centers that are sucking up water and driving up utility costs in areas, and they passed it on to the citizens. But the main thing is they're sucking up water. There's a lot of people that talk about drought, with the heat, and these data centers sucking up water.
And that's the other thing that I want to point out. And I mean, these family, I'm not sure if you guys ever actually saw a data center or been on a campus. They are huge. You can put on the average 10 to 15 football stadiums on it easily. Matter of fact, it's a place out here called Hopewell, right? Their utilities is going up 30%, 30 to 40%. I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, the politicians, everyone's complaining about it. So I decided to drive out there. And as soon as you come over the bridge going into Hopewell, guess what you see? A data center there that just got completed. That's where all the money is going into. That's where the utilities are going into. Now literally in Memphis. Is it Memphis? I think it's Memphis or outside one of the cities in Tennessee. The water is polluted because of Elon Musk's data center out there. The water is contaminated. They were supposed to have filters and all those things in place and lied to the people.
Well, the departments who regulate that just got canceled by his own Doge. So
exactly.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
So all the watchdogs that was in place, they got rid of the watchdogs, and now everything is for hire, or should we say for sale? Let's see here. Yes, Mayhem. So when do you need acres of to manage data? Data is valuable, and I've said this ages ago, before it even got to where it is. Data is so valuable. When you see, for example, let's just use, for example, YouTube. To have this type of platform, you need data servers to be able to host this type of robust system, right? It comes with a cost. So those data centers, man, you're talking easily sitting on 200-300 acres, and I'm talking about it make Walmart look like a corner store, make Walmart look like a bodega. That's how large and huge these data centers are. So having these different types of platforms come with a cost. But the problem is, it's not just the data centers. There's no, like Berean Scholar pointed out, there's no watchdogs over it now. And the politicians, they are in full steam ahead in the pockets of these billionaires. I mean, in their pockets. And then now, too, what he's doing is all kinds of lawsuits that was pending, he pardoned. There was a lawsuit against what's the guy that got the Santos, the seeds and all that.
Yep.
There was a lawsuit, what you call it, a class action lawsuit against them for people that have caught cancer from Roundup and some of the other things. He pardoned them. They were even trying to, toss out the lawsuits against what's the Uber. There's over 200 to 300 major lawsuits against them, and they were trying to. Donald Trump, along with the MAGA nuts, was trying to secretly pass a bill to basically take them off the hooks, and then he was going to write pardons for them.
And not for free.
Not for free. So, family, that's why you see on your screen, you see the White House, and in the front of it looks like a plague, right? Let me show this real quick. I see what you have on your screen here. Let me show this real quick. I thought you guys could see this, but
and like this is why you doing that. This is not left or right. It's just right now. What was usually go on is going on in the plain sight now. They both sides do it. They both sides in the pocket. They both being controlled by money. But this one doing it in plain sight and don't worry about it.
All right. Can you guys see the backdrop here? I purposely did this, created this image
plague,
so you can see the plague.
Yeah, the River Nile right in front of with the blood water.
I was trying to put the pool at the National Park or the Lincoln Memorial. I was trying to put that here.
Pool.
Yeah, but it was giving me all kinds of issues. So I had to, just basically, settle for this here. But you guys get it, because something has to give, family. You have more billionaires rising up like never before. A billionaire is a whole different plateau, family. And then you got Elon Musk, who just hustled the world. Hustled the world to have the world fund his expeditions rather. Bombing, his rocket launches are crashing out, blowing up. Well, who's paying for that? So it's a major hustle going on, family. Major hustle. Truth be told, he wasn't worth a $1 billion when he got into office. He wasn't. He was like literally borderline. Now he's worth easily $7 to $8 billion. That's being on the conservative side, but they believe he's made in the upwards of 10 to $15 billion. So think about one billionaire. The value of one billionaire, right, is 1,000 millionaires. You take a trillionaire, the value of a trillionaire is 1,000 billionaires. Is that crazy or what? Think about that, family. One trillionaire is his net worth, he or she net worth is worth 1,000 billionaires. Anyway, he's not the richest person in the world, though. Don't let them fool you. It's the Rothschilds. So I'll go back over to this video here. I saw a video clip you had here, my brother. I'll pull it up here.
This is what happened in the during this and I don't know most people, because of this has been the 250th anniversary. The Smithsonian had a event that was planned. It was planned for a long time to do. That was nonpartisan, had nothing to do with any party. It was just a celebration. They co-opted that event. In fact, there was a news release that came out 2 days ago about certain people, funders that thought they were funding the Smithsonian event. they co-opt those funds and put it in the account of this event.
And that's what they've been doing.
And everybody heard about the people canceling the celebration. Most of the people there was who was scheduled thought they was doing the Smithsonian's event, and it was his event. So they came over this, used public money that supposed to went to the Smithsonian and took it and did this event.
I mean, the hustle with the plane. They trying to say, oh yeah, Qatar. They was it Qatar that supposedly donated a plane to him?
Oh yeah.
Actually, they used almost $1 billion of American money to do all the bells and whistles, the whole nine. And his whole goal is once he, his term is complete, he planned on taking that plane with him, which is against, you know what I mean, the law.
For most presidents.
I mean, this guy is like to your point, all of them corrupt, family. All of them have a level of corruption, but this is unprecedented, you know, what you see. Unprecedented, rather, excuse me. And you know, make Nixon look like a choir boy.
Altar boy.
Yeah.
And to introduce this video, as you said, Pastor, the Great American Fair, whatever they want to call it, has not had a lot of people there. And so it's been around news. You've heard people talking about how it was a scarce, all that money, and not that many coming. But guess who came to make sure they showed support to our president? And this is what this video is about.
Nationalist group known as Patriot Front appeared on D.C. streets today. Dozens of demonstrators covering their faces were reportedly seen at the D.C. Metro, near Capitol Hill, and at Union Station. George Washington University says Patriot Front is a fascist group that promotes the idea of a white ethno-state in the U.S. and advocates for the preservation of white European culture and views multiculturalism, immigration, and diversity as existential threats to their vision of America. D.C. police responding to that protest saying, quote, they recognize the rights individuals to peacefully express their views and remains committed to maintaining public safety and security for D.C. residents and visitors. Meantime,
sometimes the pictures really don't tell the full story, because if you look behind us, you see, okay, there are a couple of hundred people back there, but the truth is, when you make your way over here and you're in a wash of people.
Now look at the wash of people they're talking about.
Yeah, and Fox News is, they were trying to say, oh, we got thousands.
Look at the wash of people. Wow.
Yeah, that's the only, and he says in that video that there's thousands. And family, this is how it looked every day for the past 2 weeks.
So this came out on
that was last week.
Yeah, And so that the report beforehand, well, since it wasn't people there, they said we're gonna go there and support them. So the supremacist group are showing up.
And family, think about the hustle that he called himself doing to try to get reparations, to try to have a fund for all those people, the Proud Boys and all those guys who participated in January 6th, the insurrection. The hustle is suing the IRS, which is an agency that is managed by him, sue them for $1 billion, $1.5 billion. So when they do a settlement, the settlement is supposed to come. I think he sued for $12 billion, something like that. And then the settlement is supposed to go to a fund that he manages. So his whole goal was for him to take a bulk of that money and then use that money to fund these extreme groups.
Who's behind the January 6th? Give reparation for the ones who stormed the Capitol, broke windows, attacked police, defecated in offices, smoked weed in it, and stole equipment out of the government property and give them reparation.
Your family is so corrupt that the Supreme Court is right in alignment with them. They gave him this power. He shouldn't even be in office because the Constitution literally says that if you were part of an insurrection, you cannot hold office. And it was a bipartisan agreement from, Republicans, Democrats, that he spearheaded the insurrection. So whether he won the election or not, he should not even be sitting in the office right now. So technically, he shouldn't even been allowed to even run for office. He should not have. He should not be able to hold any public seat in any of those that participated in that insurrection as well.
I think it this way, brother. For those of us who are still asleep, who have not awakened to who we are in this place and where we are, this openly shows you what this country is all about. Because for years, now I grew up in Mississippi, and I've seen burning crosses. I've seen those things happen. Those groups have been alive and done much damage, and they are listed as a non-profit organization under our government.
Yeah.
But lately, after the George Floyd incident and the Black Lives Matter, people started saying Antifa, and that's not an organized group. They don't have any kind of a charter or listed anywhere.
It's basically a straw man. That's all it is.
But we can sign a bill saying that is a terrorist organization. But none has never been signed against the KKK, against the Proud Boys, against none of these. But because their group is against what they're doing, that's a terrorist organization.
Yeah. And so, family, I want to make this clear point right here. And you guys heard me say this before in Berean Scholar. You heard me mention this even internally within our ministry. I've said this in our conversations. Family, and this is what I've been praying for. I'm praying for the plagues to come. Right? I'm speaking plagues right now. Why? Because this is coming from Revelation chapter 11, verse 4 through 6. This is for you, Israel, the true descendants of Israel. These are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before Yahweh of the earth. And if any man were hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth. And I want to make it clear, family, do not embrace the Christian Catholic doctrine. Do not embrace the end time prophecies of those places, because they'll try to tell you that, oh, it's Moses and Enoch. That's what they'll try to tell you are the two witnesses. That's the furthest thing from the truth. It's the northern and southern kingdom of Israel. That's the two olive branches, because they, the northern southern kingdom, they split, right? Because of the whole situation, the judgment that came to King Solomon with the things that he was indulging in. And then his son, King Rehoboam, came in, and Jeroboam was anointed to take over the northern kingdom. And initially it was just Judah and the Benjamites. That was the southern kingdom. And that was because the Most High said he's going to keep his promise that he made to David, that there will be someone sitting on the throne from his lineage, right? But they split. And later, when Jeroboam just went off the chain, he was worse than King Saul. He had his own Jerusalem and had created his own priests, which caused the Levites to flee for their lives and go to the southern kingdom, to go to Judah, so that's why later you see the 7 tribes. But my point that I'm making here is, right, those two olive trees, right, that is the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. And don't get caught up with this grafted in nonsense of saying, oh, the church is grafted in, oh, the Gentiles are no, it's the northern and southern kingdom, and that is dealing with, when you see the grafted, right, that is referring to Ephraim and Manasseh, because they were, if you want to say technically, was adopted by Jacob, because Reuben, because of his sins, his perversions, so he lost the birthright blessing. So Ephraim and Manasseh took over and was given that birthright blessing. Want to make sure you guys understand this. And I can do I've done a full teaching on that, and I can see if I can find it and post it inside the chat. That's who the grafted in is. It's not non-Israelites. It's the nations of Israel, right? And that is dealing with Ephraim and Manasseh, because you'll see a Hebrew word that's called malah, and it means multitude. It means fulfill. It means multiply. And you'll see that same prophecy in the wording in Genesis chapter 48. So the two sticks are Israelites, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. And look at what it says. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouths. Life and death is in the power of whose tongue? It says, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devour their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. Verse 6. These have power to shut down heaven. Look at this here, saying the northern and southern kingdom, we as a people, says these have the power to shut down heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecies, and have power over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. See, family, we got to get it right, man. And we got to make sure that we understand the power that we have. They know it, and that's why they purposely want to keep us divided. I've been speaking this right here. That's why when I saw the thing that happened at the celebration, the storm, right? And I'm gonna show you Adam Mockler, because he showed a clip that they refused to show, how literally people were running, lightning and everything. It looked like something out of a movie, like the 2012. Remember that movie, right? So where I'm getting at, family, we got to get aggressive, family. We got to get out of this passive thing, like, by and by, you know what I mean? Remember the old, the traditional songs, by and by. No, we're not doing the by and by thing. We have to start understanding who we are. And when we understand who we are and the authority that is given to us, we don't have to sit here in this land of captivity, not just this land, but any other land of captivities around this world, and sit there and be passive, waiting for to be for a resurrection. In other words, for you to die, for things to get better. No, you have the power to cause pestilence to happen. You can speak plagues into existence. Is this not what this pastor is saying? Am I right, Berean Scott? Is this what this is saying, right? You're right. These. It didn't say the church. It said these. It's not dealing with the church. It's not dealing with Judaism. It's not dealing with Catholicism. It's not dealing with Christianity. It's not dealing with Islam. It's not dealing with any of those man-made systems. It says these people, right? The northern and southern kingdom have the power to shut heaven. And it goes on to say that it rain not. And when it says heaven, it's dealing with the sky. Mayam, Shamayam, that's the the ancient Israel pronunciation of the heavens, Shamayam. In the Israeli, they would call it Shemin, right? But anyway, it's Shamayam. We have the power to shut down and cause droughts to happen. One thing the Most High, even when we look at the drought that Egypt had to deal with, the Most High made a promise before the plagues kicked in that he gave that he was going to protect Israel. Israel wasn't going to lose a single person, was not going to lose any of their cattle, their resources. So family, we had the power. So even for the person that said earlier, yeah, you want things to shut down. Okay, now you got to be prepared for it to start speaking it. I'm prepared.
Right. That's so good, Pastor, because we as Yasharel, the called out ones, the set apart one, is the very reason why they don't want us to know who we are, because they don't want us to walk in that power. That's why they kept the name from us. That's why they kept our identity from us. Because when we walk in that power, they knew what they done to us. They knew the results of the end story. They know that they read the book. They know what's happening in the end, and they know that who has the power to call that forth. Every time that Yasharel called on the Most High, as they turned back to him, he answered.
And so, family, this is why it's so critical, right? When we call ourselves going back to, no, I'm not going to say call ourselves, when many of us desire to get back to the original and take on these ancient Israelite expressions, right? You have to get back to the original language. Yes. You cannot, let's just say Israel, that's not an ancient pronunciation, right? Even Judah, saying Judah, no, Judah is not an ancient pronunciation. And especially when you say the word Jew, that Jew started its conception in the 8th century. French removed the dot in the Greek when it's transliterated over the delta. They removed that from it, family, from the word. In the ancient Hebrew, the dalath means focus. So they purposely caused what? Distractions. During that time when they created this word, start the conception of this word, then you start seeing groups like, Ashkenazi Jews, Sephardic Jews. Never in Israel's history that they segmented themselves with terms like that. Then at the same time, they created the Masoretic points. All of this during all of this period. Then you see easily 80 to 90% of the Talmud was written between the 8th to the 10th century.
Come on, that's right.
I could go right down the list of some things that happened during the 8th century, like the Khazarians. That's 8th century, family. 8th and 9th century, all during this period. Because, family, they understand the power that we have. So they are placing layers upon layers upon layers. Family, none of us should be here right now. Why? Because the poisons that we've been subjected to. How many of you guys grew up in the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s? Now, I grew up in the 70s and 80s, right? But guess what? We dealt with lead paint. You going to school with asbestos all over the place. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Those big giant steam pipes with the rust all over the padding and everything. That's the paint's chipping and the whole nine. And we're here. Like DMX, we're right here. We not going anywhere. We're right here.
Yep. And those of us who grew up in the South, they used to drive trucks down our street spraying out stuff we call the mosquito man. That we thought they were spraying for mosquitoes, but there was other drugs they were spraying in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
And some of us, the kids, were running behind those trucks.
Cause cancer, like in St. Louis.
Yep.
And to Berean Scholar's point, it caused cancer, and for many of them that didn't catch cancer, could have. They was putting asbestos and all kinds of stuff inside the food, family, poisoning the food,
and still is.
Exactly, telling us to drink all this water, but didn't tell you that it's filled with fluoride. Now the next thing you got to deal with is the bottled water that have microplastic in it. Layers and layers and layers. They're man-made plagues, but guess what? We can speak plagues into existence that will knock down our oppressors. But the key, family, is just like and when we look at Exodus, right? Israel was ready.
Yes.
Are you guys ready? Because when we speak pestilence, that means that you're ready. So if things start shutting down, guess what? You're good. Your family's good. You ready? You ready? Or should I say, you in it for the long haul? I'm speaking pestilence, family. I'm not apologizing. I'm unapologetically speaking plagues. Who with me on that?
Yeah, you know I am.
One could chase 1,000, two could chase 10,000.
We
Guess
got
what?
more
Even
than
just
enough.
10 of us.
More than enough on this chat right now could chase a lot. Millions.
Come on, family. We gotta. This is the type of aggression we have to take. We have to start speaking it. I'm speaking pestilence, family. I'm speaking pestilence for all these people. The 1948ers, the United States, all of the Britain, all of them that is subscribing to this foolishness. I'm speaking pestilence to all of them. Come on, family. Add that to your prayer life, family. Let me read it again so you guys don't think that I'm just making it up. These have power to shut heaven. Matter of fact, let me rewind it a little bit. These are the olive trees, right? And matter of fact, let me see if I don't have it in there. I was going to look at the commentary in the back to see what they say here. Yeah, look at here. Oh, this one says Enoch and Elijah. Look at this. And I will give power unto my two witnesses. Look at this, family. This is a great Bible, as far as in terms of, it's an expositive Bible, but it has some foolishness all up in it too. Look at here. And I will give power to my two witnesses, because some would say Moses and Enoch or Moses and Elijah. But, normally I see it with Moses always included in it. But here you see Enoch, right? And the reason why they'll say Enoch and Elijah, because they didn't meet death. Right? Enoch was taken. Elijah was taken. Right? And that's why it says here, two men who have not yet died actually being translated before they saw death. This is eschatology according to Christianity, Catholicism. It says here again, Enoch and Elijah. Nah, family, this is not new. This is not the two witnesses. And like I said, the nugget here to understanding who the two witnesses is the olive trees, the two olive trees, right here, verse 4. And these are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before Yahweh of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devoured their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. Right? These have power to shut down, to shut heaven. That it rain not in the days of their prophecies, and have power over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues. Didn't say some plagues, with what? All plagues. Including the 10th plague that we saw in Egypt. They're trying to damage our children. Well, guess what? What's the 10th plague? And it says, as often as they will. Come on, family. Let me go ahead.
Can I ask that, Pastor? And you said they have power to, in that verse, have power to shoot fire from the mouth, according to their prophecies.
Now go ahead, go on, my brother.
And when you said that, it took me back to Nehemiah, when Nehemiah in chapter 3, when he was building a wall, and Sanballat and all the others came against him, and they started speaking all those things against him, saying, how this wall would never stand. If a fox ran up it would come down, and try to bring down or to cause the people who was with him to lose courage. And Nehemiah immediately started praying to say, turn those words against them. He started praying against. He prayed against them. He didn't pray for them. He didn't pray for their healing because he loved them. He prayed against them. He told the Most High to turn their words, their things against them.
Absolutely. And family, what I'm going to do, since I mentioned the olive tree, I'm just going to copy a couple of slides over here to prove the point, that we're not dealing with the church. We're dealing with the northern and southern kingdom. Let me see here. Let me pull it up here. I'm just trying to copy over some slides here. All right, let's see here. All right, let's pull this over. Romans chapter 11. We're going to connect it to Genesis. All right. All right. All right, let me just copy this over. See, we are doing like back in the day, like what we would be calling freestyling. We are freestyling right now, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so let's keep this freestyle going here. Let me prove to you guys, because I know this is one of those doctrines that's hard to let go, right? Let me add this to the stage, and let me remove this one. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
All right. Romans chapter 11, verse 23 through 25. Because really, this entire chapter is about the northern and southern kingdom. And it goes all the way back to chapter 9. That entire chapter is about the northern and southern kingdom. But anyway, let's go ahead and deal with this here. And they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in, for Yahweh is able to graft them in again. That's the key. Graft them in what? Again. So that means that we're not dealing with the church. We're not dealing with other nations. We're dealing with Israelites. Because the key is what? Them and again. Verse 24, for if thou were cut out of the olive tree, which is wild by nature, and were grafted contrary to nature into a good olive tree, how much more shall these which be the natural branches be grafted into their own olive tree? For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceits, that blindness in part is happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. Now, here's the kicker, family. When we see Israel, right, is it referring to all of Israel, or are we referring to the northern kingdom? Because the northern kingdom was also called Israel. They were also called Ephraim. The southern kingdom went under the name Judah. So are we dealing with all of Israel here? That's why context is everything. Or are we dealing with the northern kingdom? This right here, this sentence here, until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. Gentiles is a word of confusion, just like the word Jew. So that blindness in part is happened to Israel until the fullness, right? Let's go to the Greek definition of this word, right? It says repletion or completion, multitude. Make a note of that. Multitude, fulfilling, fullness. But the key, multitude. So Paul is clear that all of Israel, both the house of Judah and the house of Israel, has been blinded to the truth for a period of time. Now, reading the passage, I kind of lean towards even though I, as I continue to study the northern and southern kingdom, the two olive branches, I'm leaning more towards the the northern kingdom being identified here as Israel, because Judah was not lost at this time.
Right.
All right. So Paul also says that the wild olive branches will continue to be grafted in to cultivate the olive tree, to replace those branches broken off until the fullness of the Gentiles has been added. Right. So a key breadcrumb is the Greek definition of the fullness, is the word multitude. Right. The Hebrew word that coincides with this word is called malah. And then when you go to this definition, look at what it says: fullness, fullness, multitude. Now, does that not go hand in hand, my brother?
That's it. Multitude.
Now, family, let me make the connection here. So, who are these so-called Gentiles? Apostle Paul, Paul's Roman 11 teaching. Who are these people? Is it the church? No. In this text, who are the so-called Gentiles? Genesis chapter 48, verse 17 through 19. Here's the kicker right here. Here's the answer. And when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him, and he helped his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head unto Manasseh's head. And Joseph said unto his father, not so, my father, for this is the firstborn. Put thy right hand upon his head. And his father refused and said, I know it, my son. I know it. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall become a multitude of nations. And guess what we see there? The word malah or mala'ah, right? And then we see the Hebrew word gawayam. That transliterates to many cases the word Gentile, right?
Yep.
So what is the Hebrew dictionary definition of Gentile? Look at here, family. In the Israelis pronounced goyi, right? Look at here, a foreign nation. That's what they try to teach you. Just to focus on all, the Gentiles are all those that are not Jews. That is the terrible definition. Hence, a Gentile, also figuratively, a troop of animals or a flight of locusts. But here's the kicker: heathen, nation, people. The key is nation, people. Heathen is a racial tone that's added to the text. Pagan. So when you see heathen, for the most part, when they use this word heathen, it's synonymous to uncivilized African nations. But here you see nation, you see people, right? That's the point I want to make. So the Gentiles in this text, it's referring to Ephraim. It's referring to Manasseh. See, Jacob on his deathbed blessed Ephraim when he adopted him and his brother Manasseh, and spoke the blessings over Ephraim, that his offsprings would become the fullness of the nations. So how does this connect to the adoption or grafting? So what blessing did Jacob give Manasseh and Ephraim? It's all here in the scripture, family. The double portion blessing. See, we talk about the messianic blessing, but we forget about the birthright blessing that is still prevalent. The double portion birthright, Reuben was entitled to receive for being the firstborn, right? But Joshua mentions this, right? Look at this here. This is key right here, as far as not Joshua, but I'm gonna give you another passage. But look at how Ephraim and Manasseh gets a double portion here of territory as they split in the land and dissecting the land to among the Israelites. And the children of Joseph spake unto Joshua, saying, why hast thou given me but one lot and one portion to inherit, seeing I am a great people, for as much as Yahweh hath blessed me hitherto? And Joshua answered, if thou be a great people, then get thee up to the wood country and cut down for thyself there in the land of the Perizzites and of the giants, if Mount Ephraim be too narrow for thee. And the children of Joseph said, this hill is not enough for us, and all the Canaanites that dwell in the land of the valley shall that have chariots, of iron, both they who are of Bethshean in her towns, and they who are of the valley of Jezreel. Here's the kicker. And Joshua said unto the house of Joseph, even to Ephraim and to Manasseh, saying, thou art a great people and has great power. Thou shalt have not one lot, but what? Two. Isn't that a double portion?
Yep.
So they have two. So why did Jacob give the birthright blessings to his grandsons? You guys already know this. Genesis 35, verse 22. And it came to pass when Israel dwelt in the land that Reuben went and laid with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard it. Now the son of Jacob were 12. All right. All right. So I didn't put all my notes there. I stopped it right there. I could have added more, but that'd have been a whole nother teaching that in itself. So family, because even matter of fact, do I need to put it in here? Let me see here, another part here. Because Kings also Chronicles rather also bear witness of it. Chronicles chapter 1, First Chronicles chapter 5, verse 1 and 2, when it deals with the birthright. You know, Judah being more powerful in terms of the scepter, the royalty, that portion of it. But verse 1 makes it clear how Reuben got how he lost his birthright citizens, and it was given to Ephraim and Manasseh. All right. Any comments, Berean Scholar?
No, it's funny. And even if you're going to go back into in Revelations, Manasseh is mentioned again when he mentioned all the 12 tribes. When you're talking about the 144, and Manasseh is missing again.
He said missing, or his name?
No, he's mentioned. Yeah, his name is in that list.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's funny because coming from that institution, I say that word not by chance, that we taught that very verse that you read to teach replacism, that this is talking about the church being grafted in, but you cannot be grafted into something grafted in again to something you've never been a part of.
Exactly. And that's the kicker, family. That is the key nugget. Let me go right back to that. You know, when I studied these passages free from Christianity, right, and Catholicism and the eschatologies that you're taught, right, that when I say that stood out, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. What did I just read here? Let me go back and read it again. Let's go back here.
Why did I not see that?
Exactly. I thought somebody, put that in my Bible. All right, let's go back here. That's not it. Here it is. And they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in, for Yahweh is able to graft them in again. That word right there, again, is a deal breaker. That's a deal breaker. All right, let's see here. Just looking at any comments here. So, family, we're living in some serious times, and you guys heard me use the term ninth hour. We are in what I believe, according to Scripture, is what is called the ninth hour. And family, you could go back on some of the topics that we discussed here. We dealt with when we were dealing with what's the one that we dealt the series we did, Berean Scholar, the cult of Baal.
Yes. Oh yeah. In fact, yeah.
We put family. I encourage you guys to go back and watch that series. Discuss so much, right? So much, family. Let me fast forward here, right?
And since you brought that up, brother, and when I said that the first thing that came in my mind, I was like, why didn't I see that? Because I've been told propaganda I've heard words spoken to me either in education and in the Christian realm that told me one thing that caused me not to see what I was reading. There's a spell was cast on me.
Yeah. Yeah. And truth be told, we all had to, we always under the same spell, because passages that was right there in our face, we didn't see.
Exactly.
We overlooked it, not because we purposely wanted to overlook it, but it was the fact of the matter is the way that we were taught how to approach the text. You know, you would have never thought. I mean, literally, it's been a number of times I'm looking at my wife like, hey, who put this passage in my Bible? It wasn't there. You know, I studied this a number of times. You're not going to tell me that this passage was there. But it's just how we've been programmed, and like, you know, blinders were purposely placed over us so we won't see certain things like we should.
John the Baptist, John said in Revelation that it was a drunkenness. We were drunk on their propaganda. What does it mean to be drunk? Intoxicated, under the influence.
Exactly. And family, as you see on your screen, we were given signs as a compass to determine where we are in the prophecies. If you properly follow the scriptures accordingly, not through this Eurocentric mindset, you'll see that we're a lot further along in the prophecies, and it gives you clarity to what we see, right? And what are some of the signs that are given, right? Yahweh has given us the animals as signs, right? Job chapter 12, verse 7 through 10. Look at what it says. But ask now the beast, and they shall teach thee, right? Family, I threw food out in the forest, lettuce out in the yard. My wife has some lettuce that she didn't eat, didn't use. It was a whole hedge of lettuce. So she chopped it up and we threw it outside. Family. The wildlife didn't want to eat it. I forgot I threw it out there and went out there in the wintertime. And I was doing something with the snow. And guess what? Like 4 months later, saw that same hedge of lettuce. And that lettuce, rather, those looked like I had just threw them out. That's a sign. And guess what? We're very conscientious of the foods. So ask now the beast. Now, you got bears, and I'm seeing videos literally of bears not eating certain foods that was handed to them. And bears they're like dump trucks, or should I say garbage trucks. They tried to give it a McDonald's burger.
That's funny you said that.
So the beast, and they shall teach thee, the fowls of the air, they shall tell thee, or speak to the earth, and it shall teach thee, and the fishes of the sea shall declare unto thee. Who knoweth not in all these, that the hand of Yahweh hath wrought this, and whose hand is the soul of every living thing, and the breath of all mankind. So this is why we know, family, we're so far along with the prophecies, because the Most High is not going to sit back and let these guys destroy this earth. He made a promise on what he was not going to allow the earth to go through. And these guys are taking it there. What do you think, Berean Scholar?
You're definitely right. When you said that about the McDonald's, I 7 years ago, I met a evangelist. Him and his wife went around preaching. And one of the things he was teaching about how the same thing we're saying tonight, how they're poisoning us, putting stuff in our food, and we don't know what's going on. In fact, he brought with him a 3-year-old McDonald's burger and fries that he kept. And he used every sermon. He pulls it out, unwrap it, and lays it there. Looks like it was made yesterday.
No lie.
I've had this thing for 3 years.
No lie. This happened to me, right? My routine when I used to work in Northern Virginia driving home, I would stop by McDonald's and I'll just grab me some fries and a milkshake. I mean, not a milkshake. They had like a smoothie or whatever that they used to sell. I'm not sure if they still do, because I haven't been back there since that. It's been about 15, 20 years now. And normally this particular day, I decided to get a Big Mac, right? And what I did was, didn't realize I did it. I went to my trunk to get something out of my trunk. And guess what? I took the bag with the burger and put it in my trunk too. And I completely forgot about it. Well, about 7 or 8 months later, because I had some stuff over it, and didn't realize that was still in my trunk. So I was cleaning my trunk out, and lo and behold, I find that bag.
Oh,
and I was like, you know what? Let me take a look at this thing here, because I wasn't smelling anything. I didn't smell nothing spoiled. Man, I opened that thing up. That thing looked like I had just purchased it. It did not spoil. It didn't have an odor. It didn't have any of that. The lettuce, everything was still as if I had just purchased it. That was the last time I ate at McDonald's. I don't mess with McDonald's. I don't mess with Burger King. I don't mess with none of those places.
You can go online and find out certain fast food. There's people who've done studies that showed you that there's certain fast food that food don't spoil.
Yeah.
And that's what we put in our bodies.
Yeah. Well, I don't put it in my body. I had to let that thing go. Me and my family was like, nah, we ain't messing with that stuff. And family, the next thing that you start paying attention to is bottled water. Bottled water should not have expiration dates on it. And me doing research on why I'm saying an expiration date on the bottle is because the water doesn't expire. The bottle does. So that bottle, as it start, eroding, is going inside that water. So if you drink a bottle of water that's been sitting, even if it's not at that expiration date, just the fact that the plastic can break down, I'm not drinking out of it anymore. I stopped doing that. Now I'm like, I'm gonna have to buy water that's straight. If it got to be in a bottle, a glass, a true bottle. So microplastic, family, is in these bottled waters. Have you guys ever picked up a bottle of water and it was so flimsy? The plastic was so flimsy. Have you done that before, Berean Scholar?
Yep.
That's an example of the bottle itself, the plastic breaking down. And even before I knew this, when I have a flimsy bottle of water, I don't drink it. I'm like, I ain't drinking this. What's wrong with this bottle of water? So just a thought, family. Just a thought. Right? So they're creating plagues, right? So we get to speak plagues into existence that gets to their doorsteps. Because these guys don't drink that bottled water. They don't drink and eat the stuff that they selling us. The cereal that's in this country is outlawed. You go to jail selling this cereal overseas. Soda is not the same overseas that's over here. It messed me up when I went over there and saw that. They will not sell the sodas that they sell here overseas. And a lot of these things you see these politicians are doing, China don't play, Korea don't play. When I say Korea, I'm not just referring to the North Korea. I'm talking about South Korea. They don't play, man. You had a leader over there that was doing the same foolishness, man. They sentenced that individual to capital punishment. Anyway, any comments, Marine Scholar?
But here in the great USSA, we would do everything for the almighty dollar. We'll sell our own grandma. These politicians will sell their own grandma.
Yeah, yeah.
And they, like you said, there's people like the owner of Palatine, who's now opened up new contract with the government, who's buying out most of these networks and all that. He's moving to Argentina and putting his kids in school down there. He's building a complex in Argentina.
Well, see, here's the kick. A lot of people don't know about Argentina is China banned the beef from Argentina because the beef had all kinds of poisons in it and chemicals in it that was unacceptable. Trump, because the president of Argentina is related to Netanyahu. Remember when they gave that $40 billion to Argentina?
Yep.
When government shut down, but he still made a way to give $40 billion to Argentina. They're cutting SNAP and cutting all these things that estimated value at $4 billion, but they gave $40 billion to Argentina, and then guaranteed that they're going to allow Argentina beef to come to the United States, to be sold in the United States, undercut the farmers, but also selling poisonous meats that China rejected. Look it up, family. I want to say peace and blessings to Ahmad. Thank you for the love and support tonight. Family, let's show some love for our elder in the building. Really appreciate you, Ahmad. Thank you again. Thank you for the love and support. Now, next time we go to Cali, I'm going to make it a point to see you. I'll give you a heads up notice when we go out there. We plan on going out there in a couple of months. All right. So I lost my train of thought. Well, I was going to get ready to pull up here. Actually, what was I going to pull up? Lost my train of thought.
We were talking about what happened with these people who are selling us out, but they won't themselves eat it, and they won't themselves even live here. Now they're moving away from here.
Yeah, it was the China thing with Argentina. Argentina beef.
See that heat getting to you.
Yeah, family. Look at this here, family. I'm not making this up. Let me share this here. All right. Let me see here. Let me show you this screen here.
You got a person in the chat said they're about to go vegan, but it's funny that, like you said, that lettuce was vegan, and it's stuff they're spraying on some of our vegetables is just not. That's why they had that lawsuits against Monsanto's because they're growing stuff that's not real.
Yeah. Anytime you have plants that should produce seed, not producing seed, you shouldn't eat it. All right, let me see here. All right. I hate when they put all this stuff here like this, man. All right, I was going to pull that one up, but I don't want to click on something that may put a virus on my computer. All right, family. Yep. Argentina beef exporters discuss how to deal with restrictions imposed by China. In 2025, let me zoom it in. Can you guys see that? If you guys can see that, type 1. All right. In 2025, the meat processing industry recorded record export figures. However, a new national situation in which government deregulation is being implemented coexists with the uncertainty created by restrictions imposed by China. The freedom they once fought for is now being transformed into regulations. Argentine meat exporters are experiencing a period of contrast. On the one hand, they are celebrating a historic record in 2025, but on the other, they are facing a challenging national situation in 2026 that threatens to disrupt the dynamics of the entire livestock supply chain. The government reported that Argentina achieved a record. I don't want to read all this. Right here. This is where I want to get to. Right? Of total export volume, approximately 500,000 tons were destined for China. However, instead of celebrating this newfound freedom, the meat industry has been experiencing days of uncertainty since the Asian country announced precautionary measures to protect its own livestock industry. China imposed, let me see, the Paris was, I'm looking at the point where it said it was poisonous. I mean, the quality of the meat wasn't there. All right, where is it? They didn't have it in that one. Let me see. Now this one talks about China rejecting, but it says Argentina shipped beef to U.S. and China banned their beef because it found it contained, Matter of fact, let me pull that up. Local food movement, but they didn't put the information there because I remember seeing this in the news a while back.
That's a Facebook post.
Yeah.
Anybody who's ever traveled far, it's funny how other countries ban stuff that we promote and run commercials for.
Yeah. All right, this article, China rejects Argentina beef due to, what's that, chlorophymical? Excuse me if I butcher your family, but it says investigations and internal consumption crisis. So yeah, they were banned because of having those chemicals in it. It says here, the initial hypothesis point to a possible false positive, the presence of compounds similar to chlorophyll, chlorophynical, potential cross-contamination. So yeah, but in a nutshell, family, it was banned. But the United States, they said, yeah, bring it over here.
China bans meat that we eat.
Yeah.
Wow.
And just so you guys can see, confirm what I said here about the 40 billion.
So that chlorophymical is an antibiotic that they use in the livestock there. It's a chemical they shoot their livestock with that is known to be harmful for people who consumes it.
Mm. Wow.
So they're treating their cows with chemicals that they know is harmful for people, but they still pushing the meat.
Wow. Well, I'm not surprised. Not surprised. All right, this is the article right here. U.S. is working on doubling aid to Argentina to $40 billion by tapping private funding sources. Wicked, man. These people are straight wicked, man.
I'm dropping this in the chat for anybody else who want to read that on their own about the chemicals they put in that meat.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here.
And the scary thing about it, this is showing you what China's doing and what Argentina's doing. But meanwhile, in the land of the free, we don't get reports of what our people are doing because they disbanded those departments. They fired those people.
Yeah.
So we're not getting reports of what's going on with us right now. And,
Yeah.
and it probably was going on bad before this administration, but it's all hands on deck right now. They can do anything they want right now because there's nobody just to pay off.
Yeah. You hit it right on the nail. You hit it right on the nail.
Ella said the USDA should supposed to be better. The only thing wrong with the USDA is the US part of it.
Exactly. Because now, I mean, all the watchdogs are going now, family.
Exactly.
Now he's going full protect his buddies mode. I mean, literally, I can't remember what company it is. People got poisoned by their foods, and some people actually died, and he let them off the hook. So when you see pardons, family, it's not just someone that's behind bars. He's pardoning companies that should be prosecuted for some of the things that they've done with their product, and he's letting them off the hook.
Yep. Who should be refunding people for wrongful death, and he letting them off the hook.
Yeah. All right, family. We've been going for almost 2 hours. I got a 2-hour rule. My rule is that if I go beyond 2 hours, I may start revealing family secrets, and don't want to do that online. And I start, talking about pink hearts, yellow moons. I start going into the fruity pebbles. That means that I should go to sleep.
Family, we need to pray for Pastor Richardson. The heat is now getting to him, so we got to pray for him, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And family, this guy, I mean, literally, like I said, he's not ashamed of anything. And the reason why he wants to do all that he can to stir up this election stuff is because he's afraid that he's going to lose power and that he's going to be impeached. So he's doing everything he can not to get impeached.
I really think that he knows that the power that helped him get elected really don't need him, and they don't mind if he's gone and his vice president serves 2 years, because if his vice president only serves 2 years, he can run 2 more sessions. And he can stay and keep them in power. It's not the person in office, the people who behind the people in office. That's what they want. And I don't think and Trump is learning that what they gonna do behind him. So that's why he's doing a lot of stuff now. He don't want to go along with that part of it.
Yeah, family. That's where we at right now. But the way things are going, man, the stuff that he's putting in place, I mean, it could take decades to undo. It could take decades.
Yep.
I mean, the whole war in Iran is all about money, fattening his pockets and his buddies' pockets. Just like when we Go back to the Iraq. Halliburton made a killing off of that. Bush's vice president made a killing.
And who had it? Who had a big part of Halliburton? He was in the White House.
Exactly. Exactly. And so, like I said, family, they all in it together. They all in it together. Democrats, Republicans, they all in it together. Any final words, Berean Scholar, as we get ready to bring this live to a conclusion, a close?
I want to thank each and every one who was here on the live tonight. That you're here, I know that you're liking, I know that you're sharing, and I know that you're supporting. And thank you guys for how you support this channel called Channels Like This, who's teaching the truth is under harassment. I'm gonna say that word, harassment, because they don't want the truth out. And some of the stuff we tell is what they don't want us to know. They don't want you walking in your true power, that you are calling down plagues, that you are lining up in the true covenant with the Most High and walking in your true power, and knowing the tongue that He gave you, that you can call on His name and have Him show up to answers, because He is a man of war. So they don't want that. So thank you for being faithful. Thank you for being a part of this. I love each and every one of you, because you are the apple of His eye.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I got a nugget to share with you as well, about the apple of His eye. I got a nugget. I just was going through something earlier for the book, expanding a section, and I'll share with you afterwards. But love you, family. With that being said, fear ye not, stand still, see the salvation of Yahweh. These Egyptians that you see here today will not have power over you ever again. The Most High will fight for you. But here's the kicker, family. We have to hold our peace. Can't go back, can't stay here. Keep moving forward. Shalom.
There is something special about you, Judah. There is something special about you, Israel, or Yasharah. Say Judah, Yahweh. That is the ancient pronunciation of the word. There is something special about you, Judah. Yahweh only spoke to you, to us, as a nation. He spoke to no other nation. That's why we are supposed to be what? That light. That separate. We're supposed to be the nation that's teaching the nation, not the nation's teaching us.
Lion of Judah, come upon the earth, bringing unquenchable fire. All the tribes of Israel and the believers stand in power. Speak with authority, worship uncontrollably. There's something about you, Judah. Fire upon the kingdom of darkness. We may suffer for a little while, but joy cometh in the morning. Judah special, no wonder we were chosen vessel. In and out of captivity, region like a wrestle. Messiah come, Messiah ride, clean out the bloodline. We disciples, so put us up on the front line. Face to face with crime, we ain't scared to grind. When we connect and divine, we stay pressed for time. Evangelize and define, put us in prison in. Worship first, we always invite the spirit in. Hold your Bible, do it again. Stacking souls, stacking sins. Joy in the morning, disappointing, you will never win. Fire upon the fire, the serpent. He makes tail chirping. It's too late, cause the chaos already burned. I don't want you rich, you gotta match it with gold street. Who's all around me, the light shine, no police. The living used to live cease, resurrected to a feast. Nothing like being in peace at the table with the meat.
Listen. Genesis chapter 11 verse 10. Explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this fact, Genesis 14 verse 13. Abraham steps on the scene. Being the descendant of Shem, which is a fact. Abraham was Abraham, born in the city of a black man, called Nimrod, grandson of Ham had four sons. One was named Cain. Here's some explain. Abraham, Isaac, what's the? Jacob had 12 sons, for real. These were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10. These were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10. These were the children of Israel.